Life is short, and being in radio can grind it to a halt. Influence FM is for running your stations at your convenience, when you want, where you want. With Influence FM, you can now do the impossible. Enjoy your life, all the while knowing that Influence FM will notify you instantly about any anomalies. And with the flick of a thumb, you can see that your station's assets and operations are running at full speed. Go ahead, take that vacation. We dare you. We sell freedom, not software. Free yourself to do, well, precisely what you want.
Welcome. Day number 14. One to go. How'd that ad turn out last night? Love to hear it. If you get a chance, email it to me. My email address shows up at the end of these. I always like hearing people's ad promoting themselves and what they're going to do. Now remember, treat yourself as a customer. If you're using the influencefm.com site, make a note every 3 to 4 weeks to change your personal copy. Build your personal brand. You can do this on your radio station, and then I'm going to tell you what happens. You walk in and say, hi, I'm Chris from the radio station. They go, oh, I know you. In my ads, I talk about a lot of personal stuff, too. I'll talk about the fact, I'll say this week, hey, family's in town, and we're going to do this and that. We're going to be out on the lake, and da-da-da-da-da. And by the way, if you want to spend more time on the lake, and I'm into my pitch. All right, we're starting today with a quote from Oscar Wilde. Kind of sinks in, doesn't it? Kind of tells you everything. Hey, listen, I like to read novels. I read a lot of novels, but I read a lot of other books too. I'm in the middle of half a dozen books at any given time. I read personal improvement books, I read sales techniques, I read about businesses. But think about what you're reading in your personal time. I like this, you remember when they used to say you are what you eat? I believe you are what you read. Whatever you're filling your mind with, that's what you are. That's why some people are kind of interesting to talk to at times. You wonder if they're still at home reading comic books in their 40s. These are some of the authors I like reading. I like reading Tony Robbins, but I'm not one of his disciples. I haven't bought into that whole thing here. The Generation Z Effect, great book that I'm reading right now. But there's other books, and I'm going to go through some of those. Think about what you are reading and how you're doing it. Even Dr. Seuss, he even got it. The more you read, the more things you'll know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. All right, today I want to start out with who you are. Who you are today is a lot different than who you were 2.5 weeks ago when we started out. Look in the mirror and say, who am I? Well, here's who I am. I'm motivated, caring, goal-driven, creative, and detail-oriented. Not necessarily in that order and not necessarily on any given day. Some days I have days where I'm extremely creative. Other days, forget about it. There's nothing I can do right. So you're going to look in and say, what am I? And then you're going to look into your reading and say, what do I need in order to become better at the places I need to be better? All right, here's some books I recommend right off the bat. You've got this in your workbook so you can see it, but you'll want to get these books. I suggest you get an Amazon Prime subscription if you don't have a bookstore in your market, and start building your library. The reason I like real books as verse to my Kindle is because I can make more notes in the books, and I do write in books. But I'm learning how to make notes in my Kindle, so I like the 33 Ruthless Rules of Local Advertising. Now, Michael Corbett, there's no other way to put it, the guy's a bitch. He will tear you down. He'll make you think you're a failure even as you start reading through his book. He tells you how horrible radio advertising people are, or any type of advertising people are, that they don't know what they're doing. And he tells you why he's better. However, there's some great language in this book that you can pick up and steal. If you think back to when I gave you my executive summary, I said, if we want to build a rock-solid marketing bridge with measurable results, we have to go through a process. Those words weren't mine. Those came out of Michael Corbett's book. Next up, the Little Red Book of Sales Answers. Kind of a neat book. Gives you a little background for what it's going to be like. The 101, yesterday I told you about this, the 101 Contrarian Ideas About Advertising. Jeffrey Gitmer's Sales Bible. You can buy this book for $20. You could buy my copy that's in my office for $5,000 because it's got years of notes written into the pages. Clients for Life, a good easy read, and then the 25 Sales Habits of Highly Successful Salespeople. Good book, not great, but a good book. Next up, I want to talk about, let's see here. We want to talk about what else you're feeding your brain on an ongoing basis. Now, there are lots of magazines out there that you can read. Here's the ones that I read all the time. Inc. magazine, #1. Always with some new ideas. Always with, 5 steps to better this, 10 steps to better that, 3 steps to better this. Good stuff. Fast Company. Kind of forward-looking, forward-leaning magazine. Tells you what other people are doing or have done that you can pick up hints from to make yourself a better salesperson. Obviously, The Economist. That's dry reading. It's out of England, so expect dry reading. I like going to watch TED Talks. I read Mashable, The Consumerist, kind of an interesting take on what's going on, and of course Market Watch from the Wall Street Journal. There is a program you can download on your Android, and it's sitting right there. It's going to tell you everything you need to know to get everything onto your device, your little smart device. And at the end of this, you'll see it in the credits, how to find this and how to get it. What it does is it gets all the magazines together in one place on your phone and gives you the highlights from every single one of them. Next up, what are you reading when you're driving? You say, Chris, I can't read when I drive. Yes, you can. Audible.com. It's also Amazon. Download books. When you're driving your car, some people say, well, I'm usually listening to the competition so I can hear what's on there. No, stop that. What do you care what your competition's doing? You only care about what you're doing. Your competition is irrelevant when you begin bringing them marketing solutions that work. You don't have to take down the less you know about your competition in terms of who they're selling, I say the better off you are. So when you're in the car, feed your head things that you can do. Now again, this is going to be like eating an elephant. There's a lot to this. There's a lot you have to learn. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time and with a little hot sauce, right? Okay, little piece here, little piece there. An hour here, an hour there. What did I say an hour was on Monday? I told you an hour was what of your day? 4%? 4% of your day, 1 hour. Can you feed your head for an hour a day? How about when you're sitting home at night and watching TV? There's nothing on there that can hold your attention enough so that you can't be sitting there with your tablet in your hand reading and getting ideas and sending them off to people. Years ago, I would go to conventions, and luckily this was before the days when there was weight limits on luggage, and I would steal Yellow Pages out of my hotel room. I'm here to tell you that the Dallas Yellow Pages at the time was about 4 inches thick, 2 books of 4 inches thick each. I came home with some heavy books, and I had a shelf in my office where I had all these Yellow Pages. Philadelphia, Washington, Atlanta, Dallas, you name it, I had their Yellow Pages. And if I was stuck for an idea, I would go to those Yellow Pages, open it up, find somebody who's similar, and say, okay, I need an ad for a plumber. What can I find? Come through, as long as it wasn't something trademarked, it was an idea that I could borrow off of, or steal, or plagiarize, however you want to say it. But plagiarism is such a nasty word, don't you think? Well, now we've got Google. Look what I can do in Google. I can say, plumber, Atlanta, Georgia. And I get all the plumbers. And I can look at all their ads and say, is there any good idea here that I can build from? Again, Google is your assistant. Let it do the work. Also, while I really can't stand Yelp because it's just a plot to get money out of people, you will pick up reviews in here, which will give you words. You'll get words about a restaurant. If 6 or 7 people say it's quaint, then I'm going to say it's quaint. If 6 or 7 people say it tastes like Mama's cooking, I'm going to say it tastes like Mama's cooking. I'm going to read what actual customers say. But then there's another thing you can do, and the Norman Rockwell print here you got to love. I might tell the story to somebody who's sitting here in front of me right now and have them tell somebody else and have them tell somebody else. And by the time it gets back to me, it's going to be a completely different story. And now I have a new copy line, don't I? I've got something entirely different because all these people changed the words, getting it back to me to give me a new idea. Do you have the tools to be ready for inspiration? That sucker up there on the top right, that's called an iRig. That allows you to plug a studio quality microphone into your cell phone, and then I use a program called Tape-A-Talk. Good grief, almost lost it there. Tape-A-Talk. You would be surprised how good a quality comes out of these phones when you connect a good microphone to them. Your production department will tell you, oh, it'll sound like crud. It won't. balance the mic, you got it ready to go. And then, of course, don't forget to also bring paper and pencil with you all the time, because you never know when inspiration is going to strike, and you want to get it right then and there. By the way, I like recording my clients. I like walking in and saying to somebody, here, do me a favor, give me 6 seconds. So they come in and say, hi, this is Joe Schmo from Ace Hardware in Bullhead City, and you're listening to K-Rock, a Murphy broadcasting station. It's simple. Program director will probably let you put it on the air. You get a bunch of these on there. All of a sudden, people start saying, hey, I heard you on the radio. I had one guy do this, and it was Ace Hardware in Bullhead City. He says, I've been advertising for years. Nobody ever told me they heard my ad, but now all of a sudden I'm saying it's me, and they say I heard you on the radio. So that's a different context. They're hearing you before, but before you're just the store. Now you're you. Homework for tonight. Only 2 more nights of homework. I want you to pick a category. And I want you to pick 3 businesses in that category. Now, all you got to do is go to your list that you did on our second day. Go to a category, 3 businesses in that category, and then ask everybody you know about that business. See what they can tell you, and write down everything they say. And then write 1 ad for each statement they made. Oh, I love it because I love seeing Margie there every day. Write an ad about Margie. You can do this from just little pieces you pick up here and there. Tomorrow we wrap it all up. Did you get your 3 CNAs done? You better have a closing call today or tomorrow or both. You're supposed to have 3 closing calls now. You should have 3 CNAs set for next week and 3 closing calls scheduled for next week. And I'll see you on Friday.
Life is short, and being in radio can grind it to a halt. Influence FM is for running your stations at your convenience, when you want, where you want. With Influence FM, you can now do the impossible. Enjoy your life, all the while knowing that Influence FM will notify you instantly about any anomalies. And with the flick of a thumb, you can see that your station's assets and operations are running at full speed. Go ahead, take that vacation. We dare you. We sell freedom, not software. Free yourself to do, well, precisely what you want.